The five state assemblies have been completed, the exit polls have come, and it gives a very surprising clear victory for the Congress in Telangana and, of course, in Chhattisgarh. But on Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, the exit polls are divided. So, from the exit polls, what is clear is been a closely contested election, and therefore it has not been a sort of an easy run for the BJP and Prime Minister Modi, as well, despite the hectic campaign that was conducted by the Prime Minister and the Home Minister and the entire cabinet. So the traction among the people is not really as they were expecting. And this is not surprising because today we have in India, they put out the GDP growth rates today. RBI has put it out, claiming it's going to be 7.82%, over 7.8% of the last quarter. Our own, the BJP's and the Modi government's own chief statistician, Mr. Sen, has actually said that these figures are the wrong estimate and the GDP cannot be more than 6.5%. Now, this is in reality, if you look at the situation, last year, according to the Income Tax Department, more than 40,000 corporates have dropped out of paying taxes. That is, they've stopped, they're not paying taxes, which means 40,000 corporates have closed operations. And then now the figure is come out of the FDI flows. And this is by the RBI. The earlier figure is from the Income Tax Department. The RBI has shown between April, September last year and this year, the net FDI inflows into India has dropped by a staggering 77%. So, where does this growth rate and what calculations is it coming from? We have the highest unemployment rate India has ever faced. The National Labour Survey has said that 58% of Indians are doing self employment and therefore they are not unemployed. Now, this is, no economist can accept this as any objective reality. Unemployment is rising, inflation is rising. We've seen a decline in the global hunger index. So, the net result of the people's welfare is that their livelihoods are being excessively burdened. And that is finding a reflection in these elections, and I'm sure that will find a reflection in the coming elections also in a very big way. So this is an important indicator that the growing people's discontent, and on top of it is the communal sharpening of communal polarization, the spread of vicious campaigns of hate and terror, targeting of the minorities, targeting of women and the marginalized sections, the Dalits and the OBCs and the Adivasis in our country. So all this put together, there is an absolute necessity for a change in the central government in India. The CPIM is committed to further strengthening the India bloc to ensure that the task of safeguarding the character of the Indian Republic, which is the secular democratic character as defined by our constitution, to safeguard democracy and democratic rights of our people. It is imperative that this BJP government led by Mr. Modi must be separated from holding the government and state power. So that is the objective with which the India bloc will work. Once these election results are out, so then the constituents of the India bloc will sit together and plan out the future course of action that we will undertake. This is the first point. Secondly, this sort of exaggerated claims by India on all scores by this Modi government, whose focus is more on propaganda and public relations and not on delivering things on the ground, is leading to a very, very rapid decline in India's global status. We've held the, I mean, we've had the G20 summit. India and Mr. Modi appeared to be saying that we are the leaders of the global south and we are leading the G20. But what is your status in G20? In terms of per capita GDP, India is the 20th among these G20 countries. We are the lowest. In terms of our Human Development Index score, we are the lowest amongst these G20 countries. And in terms of labor force participation rate, which is an indicator of unemployment, India is the lowest. So in all these the key indices, you find that India's position is the lowest amongst the G20. And we claim to be world leader. This loss of credibility is leading to a very unfortunate situation and something that is unprecedented that has happened in the elections to the UNESCO executive day before yesterday. India, from the Asia, you choose a representative. The UNESCO chooses the executive committee, the board. From Asia, the vote went in choosing Pakistan, which got 38 votes as against 18 votes for India. If we are the leaders of the global south, if we are the ones who are championing the interests of the developing countries, why is this happening? This must be answered. And on top of that, the third issue is the allegations that have come from the USA. Now, this is not like just a statement like the Canadian Prime Minister made, which India is in a state of denial that that is wrong. But this is a case filed by the attorney in the USA, in a US court, with evidence naming people and giving clear-cut connections of how Indian state is involved in that action. So therefore, this is something the Modi government has to come clean with, both for the Indian people as well as to the world. So these are very, very serious matters that are happening. Therefore, it only reconfirms the desire, not only the desire, the need expressed by the India bloc that this government must be defeated for the sake of India, its people, and its prosperity. And here, therefore, the DMK is a very important part of this India bloc. And only yesterday, in fact, or day before yesterday evening, we had the Congress president's some reflection of the book release there. So where the DMK, the RJD, and CPIM, we were invited. So the process of we're waiting for these election results to be over. Then the process of starting the work again will begin in right earnest. And that is our objective, that we need to save India in order to change it for the better, which means this BJP government must go. So our state committee here is deliberating how we'll carry forward these tactics and this understanding in Tamil Nadu, being part of the alliance led by the DMK. Yes.
So in most cases, we do find that
The old times. Our good old R.K. Lakshman, in his famous cartoons, he once he had a cartoon on when the polls were exit polls and festivology was just beginning in the country, and so therefore it's a old time cartoon. And in that cartoon, a husband comes home and tells his wife that I made a mistake in stamping the ballot paper. Those days you were stamping the ballot. I stamped it in the wrong box. The wife starts scolding him, saying that why did you do this? He said, "Don't worry, don't worry. I corrected myself in the exit poll when I was coming out." So you have to understand. So exit polls in our country, all the polls, you take them with a pinch of salt. But the indication is very clear that these two states they are divided, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat. The other two states clearly, all the polls have given it for the Congress.
But the remaining all three is going to have an hard house in fact. They are not going to say get a full majority.
Let's see, let's see, let's see. Let us see. I mean, after 50 years in Indian politics, I hesitate to anticipate or project. I wait for the reality.
India allies have a chance in winning chances in the parliamentary election.
I'm sorry?
India allies have a winning chance in the parliamentary election.
Yes. Yes, we have.
What is the reason?
I just told you the reason is growing people's discontent on all scores, on their livelihood mainly, on their social harmony, on the survival. And today, we salute, CPIM has saluted our rat miners for what has been achieved by rescuing those workers in the Uttarkashi tunnel, which all your modern technology failed. And who are these rat miners? All of them, in fact, almost all of them are either Muslims or Dalits. They saved it. That is a clear message. If Indians are united, India prospers.
Including 5 machines from US.
Mhm.
Including 5 machines from US.
5 machines from the USA and the international experts saying by Christmas time we will be able to rescue the worker. And what the rat miners have done it in what 20, 18 hours. So understand the potential that we have and how that is being ruined by this Modi government. That is the reason. In every way, whether it's the unity of the country, unity of our people, livelihood of our people, on every score, you find the Modi government's activities are not in the interest of India and its people.
So the general perception is that the government still has a strong hold in the core English-speaking belt of Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, so how do you think that will play out for the coming elections?
Let us see how it will play out. Now, you see, assembly elections and parliamentary elections again cannot be what you call correlated one to one. Now, the need and the desire for a better government for the sake of safeguarding India as declared by our constitution, that will be the preeminent issue in the parliament election. So things, I mean, don't be surprised. Whoever thought in 1977 Indira Gandhi herself will be defeated in UP, which was Congress's very strong stronghold, like you're saying BJP is today in these states. So it's the people who are the main determinants. They decide, and it's the people's pressure from below that is actually pushing all the opposition parties to come together. People want relief. They want change.
State politics. Sorry, state politics.
Hmm?
CPIM will consider aligning with ADMK, MIT.
No, we are now part of the DMK alliance.
Last week, any last week,
And nothing else. That they'll answer. But as far as we are concerned right now, we are an integral part of this DMK-led alliance.
Sir, will the CPIM's different position will affect the India alliance winning results?
Which one?
Different standard in every state,
Ah.
like Kerala, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu. This is will affect the
You see, in India bloc's meetings, already it was decided that all the issues of seat adjustments or when fronts that will be found, they'll all be state specific. Each state has different conditions. According to the conditions in the state, you will have that formations, that understanding that will develop. In Tamil Nadu, you have a situation where the entire range of secular parties have come together, with DMK being the main player. In Maharashtra, you have the Maharashtra Vikas Agadi, where you have the NCP, the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena, and the Congress Party and the left. In Bihar, you have the Mahagathbandhan, where you have the JDU, you have the RJD, you have the Congress, you have the left parties. So, like that, in every state, there are differences. In Kerala, there is a direct conflict between the CPIM and the Congress. And it is the LDF UDF. That contest is what has ensured that the BJP, forget an MP, can't even get an MLA elected in Kerala. So that is the best way in order to stop the BJP's any possible advance. In Bengal, there is today the Congress, the left, the Congress, and the other secular forces are together against both BJP and Trinamool Congress. And that is essential in Bengal because the anti-incumbency against the TMC, if everybody unites, that will only benefit the BJP. So each state, according to the total actual conditions, these decisions will take place, and that is already a decision of the India bloc that all electoral understandings, adjustments, etc., will be done at the state level.
Who is the Prime Minister candidate of India Alliance?
I'm sorry.
Who is the Prime Minister candidate of Indian Alliance?
First, let the elections be done. You elect your MPs, not the Prime Minister. Remember that. Remember India's electoral system. You vote for your MP. The MPs who are elected, who have a majority, they elect their Prime Minister once they are elected.
But NDA Alliance is asking the question, who is the Prime Minister of India Alliance?
They have only that question to ask. They asked us this question when Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. When Vajpayee was the Prime Minister in 2004, they said, well, who is the alternative to Vajpayee? So did India get an alternative? For 10 years, you got an alternative. And you got an alternative Prime Minister who actually served as long as Nehru did, continuously for 10 years. Not Nehru continued for long, but Indira Gandhi did in a continuous process.
Sir, in the recent days, we could find IT raids and ED raids in several places of India. But at the same time, Chief Justice of India had stated that more fraud cases may come up to the Supreme Court because elections are nearing. How do you see this in fact?
Very correctly, fraud cases will come up, and we want to ask the question directly. ED has now registered nearly 6,000 cases in the country. What is the rate of conviction? Tell me, what is the rate of conviction? How many have been convicted out of that? 23. Out of nearly 6,000, 23 are convicted. What does it mean? Not even one, it's less than 0.5%. What does it mean? It means that it is being misused thoroughly in order to harass the opposition leaders. But the moment that opposition leader leaves his party or her party and joins the BJP, he becomes Satya Harishchandra. There are no corruption cases against them. So what is happening? This is clear cut using the ED CBI to blackmail, brandishment. But genuine cases, we are saying genuine cases of corruption must be caught, and those who are involved corrupt must be punished. But that is not what the BJP is doing.
The Tamil Nadu governor denial of doctorate to Sangaraya.
I'm sorry?
Tamil Nadu governor denial of to doctorate Sangaraya.
That is governor denied, not the government. Tamil Nadu government sent that proposal to the governor, who, as the chancellor, refused to sign on that. That is exactly what the governors are doing. Till now, the Supreme Court has come down very strongly on on these governors, saying that you can't hold on. Now, again, they are resorting to tricks. Out of the 8 bills which the Kerala governor sat on for 3 years, without either returning or without either sanctioning or whatever it is. Now, 7 out of those 8 bills, he's referred it to the President of India. But Tamil Nadu did, a thing where they repassed those legislation in the assembly. Therefore, the governor had now he's got no other option after the Supreme Court judgment. So they are playing games using the governor in order to destabilize non-BJP governments. As simple as that.
In the coming election, will you ask more seats in JNK Alliance?
That we'll discuss.
Sir, your opinion about
Yeah.
your opinion on the caste census.
I'm sorry?
Caste census, your opinion on the caste census. Because Bihar already started caste census.
We are for a caste census. We want a caste census to be done with the general census of India. And the general census of India is long overdue. It had to be done in 2021. And I think deliberately, in order to avoid doing this caste census issue, the Prime Minister, who continuously keeps saying that he is an OBC and he is, serving the OBCs, etc., they are afraid of this caste census because that will clearly show the contradiction between what they desire, which is a social order in accordance with the Manusmriti, and what the Indian Constitution proclaims of social justice and equality. So they are opposing a caste census. We are for a caste census. And we think that the actual reality of India must be known. The last time such a caste census was done is 1931. So that's why caste census must be done.
Sir, on the Arvind Kejriwal will be arrested
Huh?
on this liquor scam.
Hmm.
So the Aam Aadmi Party is saying that they'll go for a public opinion like this. If he's been arrested.
The Aam Aadmi Party's position, and many in Delhi also consider this is actually harassment being done against them. But if there is any merit in that issue of what the corruption is, just bring that out and frame the charge sheet, no? Why is the ED not framing the charge sheet? You've just arrested and kept the Deputy Chief Minister and other ministers in jail. But where are the charge sheets? What are the actual charges? For more than 4 years now, Bhima Koregaon detainees are under UAPA. Till date, there is no charge sheet. 4 years. The Newsclick editor and the founder has been picked up. He is also under UAPA along with one more of the thing. Again, no charge sheet. So what is happening? I mean, this is the worst authoritarian sort of a regime that we are seeing now. If the ED is right, and if there are corruption charges, definitely take action, but produce your charges. That is the reality. They're just that is what people are opposing in Delhi.
I mean, it's a political vendetta.
Well, what else? What else would it be?
Sir,
Okay.
some of the announcements by these northern states, Bihar, Gujarat, or Rajasthan, some of these states, they have announced a lot of packages for industries.
For
Industries. And in ground reality, we see that even from Tamil Nadu, there is a threat of flight of investment. How do you see the scenario where states compete each other and where some of the states which have grown to some extent stand to do so on the economic front? How do you see that? What do you think?
well, you see, this is all. I mean, this is not an issue between states. This is an overall issue for the country. What I told you earlier. 40,000 corporates dropping out of the income tax bracket. The net, not bracket. When they're dropping out of the net of the income tax. Income tax department says more than 40,000 corporates have not filed their returns because they don't exist anymore. They've left. a 77%, a 71% decline in your net FDI inflows. So those FDI inflows are going somewhere else, no? And they're going to some other country. No, it's not an issue between states now.